महाभारतम् धर्म अधर्म संघर्षणम्.
The Pandavas passed through several kingdoms like Matsya and Panchala. They crossed several rivers, lakes, forests and hilly regions. Finally, they came to a town known as Ekachakrapura. They stayed in a Brahmin's house in disguise. The Pandavas begged for alms during the day. In the afternoon, they would bring what they had collected to their mother. She would give half of it to Bhima. The rest she would divide into 5 parts, and keeping one share for herself, she would give 1 share to each of the other sons. Some days passed. One day they heard loud wailing from the house of the Brahmin. Bhima said to Kunti, "Mother, find out why the Brahmin's family is wailing. Tell them, whatever your distress, my son will set things right." Kunti went to the Brahmin's house. This was what she gathered. There was a Rakshasa called Baka near the town. He had come to be regarded as the master of Ekachakrapura. Every day, the families in the town had to send him food by turns. A cartload of cooked rice, other preparations to go with it, 2 male buffaloes to draw the cart, and a driver. These comprised his food. Bakasura would consume, in addition to the rice, the driver and the buffaloes. It was now the turn of the Brahmin's family. The next day, they had to send the cooked food and a man. The members of the family were weeping loudly, and every member was saying, "I shall go, I shall go." Kunti said to the Brahmin, "Venerable Brahmin, do not be troubled. Get ready the food, the cart and the buffaloes. One of my sons will take them to Bakasura's place." At first, the Brahmin would not agree. He said, "You are my guests. I cannot be selfish and sacrifice one of you." Kunti said, "Certain duties devolve on the guests also. They should not desire only hospitality from the host. They should share his sufferings and do what they can. This is the code for the guest. Besides, do not be worried about my sons. They are exceptionally valiant. Bakasura can do them no harm." She returned home and explained the situation. She asked Bhima to take the cart to Bakasura the next day. Yudhishthira, Arjuna, Nakula and Sahadeva said, "Mother, what have you done? You are sacrificing Bhima to Bakasura. Is this right?" Kunti replied, "My sons, why do you behave in this fashion? What happened to your sense of service? Should we not help those who have helped us in our need? Besides, whatever our appearance now, is not the protection of people our duty as Kshatriyas? We should not forget our duty." Bhima wiped out Hidimba, and certainly killing Baka won't be a difficult task for him. Yudhishthira and the others agreed. Bhima said, "Tomorrow I get a cartload of food," and danced with joy. Day dawned. The master of the house sent a cartload of food. Bhima removed the lids from the vessels. There was an appetizing variety of preparations, and that in huge boilers. With his mouth watering, Bhima took his place on the cart and stroked the backs of the buffaloes. The cart moved towards the dwelling of Bakasura. When the cart entered the forest where Baka lived, Bhima began to eat the food. For years, he had not had such a feast. The food they begged every day did not suffice. So he began to eat to his heart's content. By the time he reached Bakasura's dwelling, all the vessels were more or less empty. Raising the vessel containing payasa, a sweet, he started drinking it and cried out to the Rakshasa, "You Baka, come quickly!" The hungry Baka was awaiting his food. He heard the call. He was wonderstruck. No one had called him by his name, for those who came to be eaten by him would have died on the way of fright. Out strode Baka and looked. The man who was to be his food was himself gobbling up all the food. He could not restrain his wrath. He ran to Bhima to grind him into powder. Bhima emptied the vessel containing payasa and stuck it on Baka's head upside down and guffawed. Baka threw away the vessel and pounded Bhima's back. Bhima rose in a leisurely manner, stroked his stomach, and descended from the cart. He then lifted Baka with his two hands and threw him away. Baka, mad with fury, pulled out a huge tree and tried to dash it against Bhima. The latter pushed it aside and checked him with his leg and brought him down. Try as he might, Baka was unable to free himself. Finally, Bhima lifted him by his legs and dashed him against a rock like a cloth being washed. Bakasura's head broke into 100 pieces. Bhima carried his dead body, placed it near the main entrance to the city, and returned home. Next morning, the people saw Baka's corpse and were astounded. They felt that Providence had answered their prayers. The Pandavas spent some more days in Ekachakrapura. One day, a Brahmin visited them. He told them that a Swayamvara was being arranged for Draupadi, the princess of Panchala Desha, and that many kings from far and near were thronging the capital. The Pandavas wished to attend, so they set out with their mother. On the way to Panchala Desha, they came to the river Ganga. A Gandharva, Chitraratha, provoked the fully armed Arjuna. He was puffed up with arrogance because he had mastered magical powers. But Arjuna subdued him with the Agneyastra. However, he spared Chitraratha's life. The Gandharva was grateful and taught him Chakshushi, an art which would enable a man to see any object in heaven, on the earth, or in hell from wherever he was. Chitraratha taught Arjuna this art and won his friendship. The Pandavas continued their journey, visiting many lovely woods and beautiful lakes, towns, cities, hills, and mountains, and finally reached Drupada's new capital city, Kampilya. There, they stayed in the house of a potter.